And so I would see him maybe once a month at church, because he would go to the Baptist church most of the time. He would walk, he would run from his home to Chickasaw Park. Now, I lived across the street from Chickasaw Park. At that time, Chickasaw Park was just for blacks, okay? He would run about 2 miles from his home to Chickasaw Park, and then he would run around the park, boxing at the same time he was running. And so I would see him, I couldn't talk to him because he was running. Muhammad's 9 years older than I am. So when I was 9 years old, he won the Olympic gold medal. Okay. After that, he became a pro, and he moved to Miami to train with Angelo Dundee. But he would come back to Louisville. He had a pink Cadillac convertible. And he would come to Chickasaw Park, and he would park his car. And I was impressed because he had a record player in his car. There were no CDs. It wasn't even FM radio then. I would see him with Angelo Dundee in his car. I seen him with Wilma Rudolph in his car. I would see him all the time. He would parade around the city, when he was working out. And Muhammad, everybody knew him. Even before he won the gold medal, everybody knew him. We only had 2 TV channels. And there was a show called Tomorrow's Champion that had boxers on it. And he had over 120 amateur fights. And and if you watch a TV on Saturday morning, you had a 50% chance of seeing him fight. So everybody knew him, and he loved kids. He's like Mr. Bell. He loved working with kids. He would walk us to school. He would go from his home to Chickasaw Park, run around it, and then he would walk home. And he would walk with the kids to school and talk to them as he was walking home. And so I know a lot of kids would come to school and say, I walked to school with Cassius Clay today. Okay. I remember one time he came to town. There was the Children's Hospital in Louisville that was getting ready to close. And Muhammad had a fight to raise money for this hospital. And we all got on the bus to go to the fight. He had all the family get on the bus to go to a fight, and I met Jim Brown. So I got his autograph, and Muhammad signed an autograph on a Jack magazine that I was selling as a kid. But he saved that hospital for the next 2 years until it was able to be run by another hospital, took over. So that hospital, Trinity Hospital, is still going on. Glenn said that when he came to Louisiana, he went to a Children's Hospital there and talked to the kids. And every time he would come back to Louisville, he was always going to do something with kids. He was going to a hospital and meeting kids and talking to them and giving money to kids. Okay, now, I started doing genealogy 33 years ago. And I found Archer Alexander. I didn't know who my second great-grandfather was. His name was Wesley Alexander. I matched another guy who was an Alexander, and he matched me. Muhammad Ali's DNA is on 23andMe. It was done for a medical reason. His daughter May May's DNA is on 23andMe. I matched the guy, Stephen Alexander, as a 4th cousin. So that means he was related to me on my mother's side because they are on my mother's side. And come to find out, he knew that his 3rd great-grandfather was Archie Alexander. So that, and the path that May and Muhammad and myself shared was one path. Of those 16 paths, it was only that one path, and that was to Wesley Alexander. So that made Wesley the son of Archie. And he wasn't the kids of Wesley's wife, because I knew who her parents were. And So I had another cousin, so I thought, oh, wow, that's easy. So I said, something must be wrong. Maybe it's just a coincidence that his name is Alexander. But I had another descendant, George Alexander, do a DNA test. And the good thing about 23andMe, it shows a paternal haplogroup number that's only passed down from males. So it's passed from Archie Alexander to every male descendant. And I knew that George was a descendant of Wesley. His haplogroup was exactly the same as the one I matched. So that proved that it was fact. So that made, it was in the Washington Post when that was found. And then it was in the New York Post, and it was all over, the internet. A woman called me from St. Louis who had been doing research on Archie Alexander. And I told her, her name was Doris Frankie. I told her about my findings, and she started doing research herself. And she found the log when they left Rockbridge, Virginia, and came to St. Louis with the Alexanders and the McClures family, and they stopped in Louisville because they had relatives in Louisville. So I assumed that's how Wesley ended up in Louisville. So I found that Muhammad Ali is the fifth cousin of another poet, Langston Hughes. And he's also the fifth cousin of Congressman Clay from Missouri. And I know Congressman Clay was invited here, but I heard he was busy in the impeachment thing. So I hope he's successful. So Muhammad's third great grandfather is Archie Alexander. When I had Rockman and his first cousin do DNA tests, well, and when first in 1980, Muhammad's aunt, Eva Clay, was interviewed in the Louisville Courier-Journal. She said her father told her that he was the grandson of Senator Henry Clay. Henry Clay, who ran for president of the United States 3 times and lost all 3 times. And I didn't believe it. So I got Rockman, and I used Muhammad's DNA and a first cousin, Cedric Turner, and they all matched white Clays who are related to Henry Clay. So I was looking for a third cousin of Henry, just a direct descendant of Henry Clay, because third cousins have the same great-great-grandfather. So I found one. I sent him a test, DNA test. He sent it in a few days ago, so I should know in about 3 or 4 weeks if it's true.